Imagine waking up one morning. You feel the sun on your face, you get out of bed. But something is different. You suddenly have a strong craving for a food you have always disliked. Or maybe you feel a deep sadness for a person you have never met. You might even have a clear memory of a childhood trip to a beach you have never visited. These are not your feelings. They are not your memories. So where did they come from? This strange and unsettling experience is not just a story from a science fiction movie. It raises a profound question that scientists are now beginning to explore. Are our memories truly our own? This idea might sound impossible. We have always believed that our memories are stored safely inside our brains. They are the sum of our experiences, the private diary of our lives. They define who we are, shaping our personalities, our fears, and our dreams. To think that a memory could be misplaced like a lost key is a disturbing thought. Yet, stories and scientific studies are starting to challenge this fundamental belief. They suggest that memory might be more fluid, more transferable, and far more mysterious than we ever imagined. What if your identity is not as solid as you think it is? Consider the stories from people who have received organ transplants. A young woman receives a new heart and suddenly develops a love for classical music and fast food, hobbies that belong to her young male donor. A man receives a kidney and finds himself dreaming of a family he does not know, only to later discover they were the family of the person who gave him the organ. These accounts are often dismissed as simple coincidence or the mind playing tricks. But what if they are not? What if they are clues to a deeper truth about how life stores its most precious data? These strange occurrences force us to look beyond the brain. They push us to ask if memory can be encoded in our very cells, in the organs that keep us alive. Could a heart hold a memory of love? Could a lung remember the feeling of a deep breath taken in a special place? The possibility is both frightening and fascinating. If our memories can exist outside our minds, then perhaps the very essence of who we are can be shared, transferred, or even lost. We are standing at the edge of a new understanding of ourselves, a place where the lines of identity begin to blur. Science is now providing some startling evidence for these strange ideas. At Emory University, researchers conducted a fascinating experiment with mice. They taught male mice to fear the smell of a specific chemical, similar to the scent of cherry blossoms. Every time the mice smelled it, they received a small, harmless electric shock. Soon, just the smell alone was enough to make them freeze in fear. This is simple conditioning, but here is where it gets strange. The children of these mice, and even their grandchildren, also showed a strong fear of the same smell, even though they had never been shocked or even exposed to it before. This discovery is remarkable. It suggests that a memory, in this case, the memory of fear, was passed down through generations. It was not taught, it was inherited. The fear was somehow written into the DNA of the father mouse and passed on to his offspring. This is a process called epigenetic inheritance. It means that life experiences can leave a chemical mark on our genes, which can then be transmitted to the next generation. A fear that was learned by a grandfather could become an instinct for his grandchild. This challenges our entire understanding of where our instincts and phobias come from. The mysteries of memory transfer do not stop with mice. Scientists have also studied a simple creature, the flatworm. These worms have an amazing ability to regenerate. If you cut one in half, both halves will grow into a complete new worm. Researchers trained flatworms to navigate a maze to find food. Then they took these trained worms and fed them to other, untrained flatworms. Incredibly, the worms that ate the trained worms learned to solve the maze much faster than a control group. It was as if the memory of the maze was transferred through consumption. This experiment sounds like something from a horror film, but its implications are profound. It suggests that memories are not just electrical signals in the brain. They might be stored in a physical, chemical form throughout the body's tissues. The molecules that held the memory of the maze were eaten and then incorporated into the new worm's body, giving it the knowledge of its predecessor. If a memory can be eaten, it means it is a physical substance. This opens up a whole new world of questions about what memory is actually made of and where it truly resides in a living being. If memories can be inherited or eaten, could they also be artificially created and implanted? Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, have shown that this is not only possible, but has already been done. They conducted an experiment where they were able to implant a completely false memory into the brain of a mouse. First, they identified the specific brain cells that were active when a mouse was in a safe, comfortable box. Then they put the mouse in a different, unfamiliar box and gave it a small foot shock while activating those same safe box brain cells with a laser. The result was astonishing. The mouse began to show fear when it was placed back in the original safe box, a place where nothing bad had ever happened to it. The scientists had successfully linked the memory of the safe place with the feeling of fear. They had, in effect, created a brand new, false memory. The mouse now remembered being scared in a place that had always been safe. This powerful experiment shows that memories are not just recordings of the past. They can be manipulated, edited, and even created from scratch like a digital file on a computer. This breakthrough leads us to the next logical, and perhaps terrifying step in technology. Scientists are developing nanochips and brain-computer interfaces that could one day record, store, and even download memories. Imagine a tiny chip that could record every single thing you see, hear, and feel. You could replay your favorite memories with perfect clarity. You could share the experience of climbing a mountain with a friend who is unable to walk. This technology could revolutionize education, allowing students to instantly download knowledge and skills instead of spending years learning them. However, the dark side of this technology is equally powerful. If memories can be downloaded, they can also be uploaded. A government could implant memories of loyalty. A corporation could implant a desire for its products. Criminals could have their memories of a crime erased, or an innocent person could be implanted with the memory of a crime they did not commit. The ability to control memory is the ability to control reality itself. We are entering an age where the very blueprint of our minds could be rewritten, for better or for worse. The idea that memory exists beyond the brain is, well, gaining more ground. While organ transplant stories are pretty compelling, some scientists are now looking for the biological mechanism that could actually make this possible. They're investigating whether memory can be carried not just in solid organs, but in the very fluid of life, our blood. One fascinating line of research involves parabiosis, which is the process of surgically joining two animals so that they share the same blood supply. In experiments with mice, scientists have connected the circulatory systems of an old mouse and a young mouse. The results were, honestly, stunning. The old mouse began to show signs of rejuvenation, its muscles became stronger and its brain function improved. It was as if the young blood was reversing the effects of aging. But what if it was not just youth that was being transferred? What if information and even fragments of memory were also flowing through the shared bloodstream? Some studies have explored transferring memory via blood transfusions. In one experiment, blood from mice that had been trained to fear a certain sound was transfused into untrained mice, who then showed an increased fear response to that same sound. This suggests that memory-related information might be carried by molecules or even cells within our blood, such as our immune cells. The immune system has its own form of memory. It remembers pathogens it has encountered before so it can fight them off more effectively in the future. Could this cellular memory also store other kinds of information like experiences or emotional states? Could the cells circulating through a transplanted organ carry residual information from the donor, influencing the recipient's mind and body in unexpected ways? This is no longer just a wild theory. The implications are enormous. If memories, or at least the building blocks of them, can be transferred through blood or immune cells, it changes everything we thought we knew about personal identity. It means that we are not isolated islands of consciousness. We are deeply connected to the biological information we receive, whether it is from our parents through DNA, or potentially from another person through a transfusion or transplant. The boundaries of the self become less clear. We are a collection of information, and some of that information may not have originated with us. We stand on the brink of a future where memories might actually become a commodity. Imagine a marketplace where you could buy the memory of traveling the world, of falling in love for the very first time, or of mastering a difficult skill. You could sell your painful memories to be free of them forever. This world honestly offers incredible possibilities for healing and growth. A soldier suffering from trauma could erase the horrors of war. A student could purchase the knowledge of a brilliant scientist. We could become the architects of our own minds, choosing the experiences that define us. But this power comes with a heavy price. What happens to your identity if your past is no longer your own? If you are made up of the memories of a dozen different people, are you still you? Or are you just a collection, a mosaic of other people's lives? Our memories are the threads that connect our past, present, and future. They're the foundation of our relationships, our values, and our sense of self. If we start editing, deleting, and trading these threads, the entire fabric of our identity could unravel. The person you were yesterday might be gone tomorrow, replaced by a new set of purchased experiences. This future forces us to confront the deepest questions of existence. What is the soul, if not the sum of our unique experiences? If your memories can be copied, could your entire consciousness be duplicated? You could live on forever as a digital file, but would that copy truly be you? Or would it just be a perfect echo, an imitation without the original spark of life? The technology to manipulate memory will challenge our definitions of life, death, and what it means to be a unique individual in a world where everything, even our past, could be for sale. We are left with a final, chilling question. If your memories are the most personal thing you possess, the very core of your being, what happens when they can be owned by someone else? A corporation could patent a memory of happiness. A government could own the memory of patriotism. In a world where your past can be bought and sold, where your mind can be rewritten with experiences that are not yours, do you still own yourself? Or have you become the ultimate product in the marketplace of the mind? The answer will define what it means to be human in the century to come.